For most of our lives, we're laser focused on one thing, saving. We work hard to build that nest egg, and honestly, we get pretty good at it. But here's the crazy twist. The exact skills that made you a fantastic saver are pretty much the opposite of what you need to actually spend that money and enjoy your retirement.
So let me ask you this, straight up. You've spent decades mastering saving, but do you really know how to spend? It's the central question we're going to dig into in this explainer. And trust me, the answer is way more complicated than you might think.
We get so caught up in spreadsheets and projections, right? We treat retirement like it's this giant math problem we have to solve. But what this picture gets at is that we've got it all backwards. The math, that's the easy part. The real challenge, the human problem, is figuring out how to live a happy, fulfilling life with the resources you've so carefully built up. And that right there brings us to what I call the retirement paradox. Let's dive into why making that mental switch from saver to spender can feel so completely unnatural.
I mean, this metaphor is just perfect, isn't it? After decades of accumulating, our gut instinct is to hoard that pile of gold, just like a dragon. The very idea of spending it, of making that pile smaller, can kick off some serious anxiety. This is the absolute heart of the spending problem.
So this is what we're up against. It's the accumulator's dilemma. First off, we've been conditioned our entire lives to save, not to spend. So second, when we see our account balance go down instead of up, it just feels wrong on a deep level. And underneath all of that is the biggest fear of all. What if I outlive my money? Okay, but it doesn't have to be this way. Let's pivot from the problem to the solution. We're going to walk through a really simple but powerful framework for planning a retirement that's just as rich in experiences as it is in assets. And this image right here, this is the core idea. Instead of looking at retirement as one giant 30-year marathon, what if we broke it down into 3 distinct phases? All of a sudden, planning becomes so much more manageable and, frankly, realistic.
So here they are. First, you have the go-go years. This is when you're active, you're traveling, you're exploring, and yeah, this is your highest spending period. Then you naturally transition into the go-slow years, maybe less jet-setting, more time nesting at home. And finally, you have the no-go years, which are about reflecting with naturally lower activity and lower spending. Simple, right? But it's an incredibly powerful way to think about it. All right, let's make this real. Let's meet our case study couple. They're both 57, they've got a healthy 1.5 million euros in their pensions combined, and they want to retire in 3 years, at age 60. Their living expenses run about 120 grand a year. And the big question they're asking, the one probably on your mind too, is simple. Is it enough?
Okay, so let's break this down. Take a look at the chart on the left. This shows what happens with a pretty modest 4.5% investment growth. You can see by that descending orange line, their assets go down over time. They make it, but just barely. Now look at the chart on the right. With an 8.5% growth rate, it's a completely different universe. Their assets don't just last, they actually double over their lifetime. That, right there, is the incredible power of staying invested.
I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but 8.5% growth is not a guarantee. What happens if the market tanks? That is the single biggest fear holding people back. So let's tackle it head on.
And let's just be honest, this is what investing can feel like sometimes. It's volatile, it's unpredictable, and that can be absolutely terrifying, especially when it's your retirement savings on the line. So if you feel that way, you're not alone, it's completely valid.
But here is the crucial mindset shift we all need to make. Market volatility isn't a sign that something's wrong. It is the price of admission. It's the price you pay for growth. Think of it like buying a ticket for a roller coaster. You can't get the thrill of the highs if you're not willing to stomach the dips along the way.
And this chart is brilliant because it shows that your feelings aren't just normal, they're predictable. This is the cycle of market emotions. We all ride it, from total euphoria at the top all the way down to panic and despair at the bottom. But here's the most important part. Look closely. The point of maximum financial opportunity is right there at the bottom, at the exact moment when everything feels the most scary.
So once we get a little more comfortable with that roller coaster ride, we can start to think beyond just our own needs. Let's talk about the incredible joy of living your legacy, not just leaving one behind.
Now this is a really cool concept. What this chart shows is that by intentionally spending on memories and experiences now with your family, with your loved ones, you are actively reducing your future inheritance tax liability. It's a true win-win. You get more joy and create memories today, and your family gets a smaller tax bill tomorrow. It's brilliant.
And one of the most powerful ways to do this is by helping your kids when they need it most. Gifting money for a house deposit can literally change the entire course of their financial lives. And the best part? You get to be there to see the incredible impact it has. It's all about transferring wealth when it has the most power to help.
And this brings us to our final and maybe the most important point of all. How do we set up the next generation for true financial success?
Okay, let's play a quick game. Picture a 20-year-old who wants to have €1 million in their pension by the time they're 55. How much do you think they'd need to put away every single month to make that happen? Take a guess. 1,000? 500? What's your number?
The answer? Just €150 a month. No, seriously. Now, okay, there are some big assumptions there, like a 10% annual return and 40% tax relief, but it's such a powerful way to show the absolute magic of starting early and letting compound interest do all the heavy lifting for you.
And that's why it's so important to remember this. The greatest legacy you can possibly leave behind isn't just the money, it's the financial education. It's giving your kids the habits and the knowledge of how money actually grows. That is a gift that will keep compounding for their entire lives.
And that brings us to this final thought. Imagine each one of these dots is a week of your retirement. Some up at the top are already gone. Some at the very end, well, they might not happen. But the ones right here in the middle, those are yours. So the final question is really a personal one. How are you going to take full advantage of them?